Welcome everybody this morning. We are graced to have Marial Corona, who has finished her dissertation on John Henry Newman in conversation with the pragmatic tradition. She is at the University of Navarra, currently living in Chicago, and will be defending her dissertation this fall. And today we are going to listen to her talk on Newman's understanding of doubt as a positive state. And without further ado, Marial, take it away.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you everyone for being here at 8 in the morning. I know myself very privileged to have your attention. This is sort of the dress rehearsal for my defense, so I thank you in advance for any thoughts or questions that my words might elicit. I'm just going to be very grateful for your feedback. To frame my paper with yesterday's discussion, particularly with the paper presented by Dr. Snyder, I would say that everything of what I'll discuss is in agreement with what he presented. Dr. Snyder talked about religious dogma as the object of faith, and Newman is very clear that doubt is unjustified in that realm, and that assent in religious matters needs to be absolute. All of us that have read Newman have that very, very clear. I think the caveat happens because reality goes far beyond religious dogma, and that's what I'm going to address. Knowledge outside dogmatic truths. We know many, many things, and dogmas are but a small percentage of these things we know. Besides Newman's theology and religious faith, I believe we can learn much from him that is especially illuminating for the secular realm, and this is the context for my discussion. Although Newman did not consider himself a philosopher, the systematic study of his works reveals fruitful philosophical lines, which demand further examination. Interest in his contributions to philosophy is gaining momentum. As examples, the winter 2019 issue of the American Catholic Philosophical Quarterly and the fourth part of the 2018 Oxford Handbook of Newman Studies examine Newman's philosophical work. My doctoral dissertation focuses on Newman's commitment to the truth and uses pragmatism as a foil to study his convictions. This course of action has proved to be very fruitful, as it not only brings forth the richness of Newman's thought, but also provides a novel perspective to understand the assets of pragmatism. In this paper, I will discuss a particular topic within Newman's epistemology, which shows clear connections to the work of Charles Sanders Peirce, his understanding of doubt and how it coheres with inquiry and truth. While Newman maintains the objectivity of truth, he also believes that it is usually discovered in partial stages through the way of inquiry. Moreover, he acknowledges that there are many detours to be encountered in this process. And I think our culture, especially today, can learn a lot from Newman's understanding of inquiry. In his 11th university sermon, he exclaimed, "If we're intended for great ends, we are called to great hazards. And whereas we're given absolute certainty in nothing, we must, in all things, choose between doubt and inactivity." I found Newman's understanding of doubt refreshing, especially in the times we're living, where on one hand, we seem to desire absolute certainties to direct our lives, but on the other, we realize how absolute statements are often equivocal. I believe Newman had a gift for navigating the contradictions of culture without ever compromising his commitment to truth. It is my desire that the following insights on doubt, which spring forth from Newman's texts studied alongside Peirce's, serve as a lighthouse for us to do the same. Charles Sanders Peirce, founder of American pragmatism, was born in Massachusetts in 1839 and died in 1914. Although him and Newman were contemporaries, there is no evidence that Newman ever heard from Peirce. However, Peirce was familiar with Newman's work. He included the Grammar of Assent in a list of books every scientist should own, and cited it 27 times in the entries he prepared for the Century Dictionary. Moreover, Newman and Peirce recognized that Richard Whately's Elements of Logic played an important role in their education. Newman wrote some sections of this work, and Peirce read it with enthusiasm when he was 12 years old. In this paper, I argue that both Newman and Peirce maintain that doubt and error play an essential role in the attainment of truth. Since a pragmatist view of truth implies a fallibilist epistemology, doubts and errors are not seen by pragmatists as liabilities in the process of inquiry. Rather, they are welcomed as building blocks in this endeavor. Peirce talks about doubt as that which gives a purpose to inquiry, And for his part, Newman sees it as a positive state because it is contrary to inactivity, and invites his listeners to choose a state of mind which recognizes the possibility of doubting. There's a state of mind, a framework, Newman's habit of the mind, and within that set of first principles, he opens the possibility of doubt. In the first section of this paper, I will begin by developing Peirce's understanding of doubt. The exposition of his beliefs will provide a framework that illumines Newman's stance. In the second section dedicated to Newman, I will talk about 4 points. First, I will explore Newman's understanding of inquiry. Second, the 3 meanings he gives to doubt. This is not original research. I actually got it from Brandon Damm's work. He's currently teaching at Steubenville, and I think his insight is genius, even though he didn't pursue it further. The first meaning is what Dr. Snyder talked yesterday in his presentation, and I'm defending the 3rd meaning, so well, we'll come to that. Then I will talk about the role of community and development, and 4th, Newman's understanding of error. The conclusions bring together Newman's and Peirce's views and show how both embrace a fallibilist epistemology without compromising the objectivity of truth. Peirce holds a nuanced understanding of fallibilism. This means that he acknowledges that his own capacity to advance in truth is limited, as is the capacity of every other person. However, this realization does not make him question the possibility of knowledge, but it makes him seek a community of inquirers to balance and correct his own thought. How healthy that is when we question our own capacity to obtain the truth. We question our own assertions of truth, and we look for a community to balance our views. While Peirce maintains that any specific belief can be overturned in the course of inquiry, he upholds his belief with confidence until a reason to question them arises. It's very important. We need a specific doubt, a reason to question. Peirce's position offers an appealing compromise between our cognitive limitations and our cognitive aspirations. This means that he acknowledges our liability to error and our cognitive dependence on others, but at the same time offers our possibility of attaining knowledge. Further, Peirce proposes fallibilism as a thesis and a recommendation. A thesis because it describes a person's propensity to hold false beliefs, and a recommendation because it advises that one should remain open to revising her beliefs in the light of new evidence. Peirce's fallibilism is often described as contrite fallibilism, meaning that we can only make progress together as a community of dedicated investigators, that there will be many setbacks along the way, and that our own part will at most be small.